Hello, football fans. We're back for week 2 of the UFL, and it's the DC Defenders versus the Columbus Aviators. And we're just about ready for kickoff. It's going to be the Aviators kicking off to the DC Defenders, and it goes into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback, and we're going to see the Defenders, Jordan Tamu, out first to quarterback. And both these teams looking to get their first win in the win column today. Both lost last week, and we'll see how they get on. Tamu had a good first quarter last week against the Battlehawks, but was poor after that. It has been said the same for all the Defenders. Really got shut out for 3 quarters and end up losing that game 16-10. We'll see if they're better today. But here we go for the first play of the game. And it's going to be Tamu, starts from the 40-yard line, back in shotgun. Sends play in motion out to the right. It's a toss play right. And tackle down after a 3-yard carry and takes the ball up to the 43-yard line. Hi, Brian. Thank you very much for joining us. Go Aviators beat the odds. I think the Defenders are going to be favourites today, but you just never know. The Kings took the Stallions close last week. We'll see what happens today. Say fake run and pass out to the left side, and it's completed. And needed 7, got 7 for the first down. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the DC Defenders. It's going to take the ball into the Aviators territory as well, which means that the Defenders can't punt now. The rule in the UFL, once you cross midfield, unless it's in the final 2 minutes of the half or at the end of the game, you can't punt. So let's see what the Defenders can do from now. It's a play action pass, lofted pass to the right side, and caught inside the 15-yard line. And a great start for the Defenders. Yes, you are, Brian, burning midnight oil again. Yes, it's just after 1 o'clock here in the morning. But it is the school holiday, so I can do some more live football over the next couple of weeks, which is good. Snap back to Tamu. He fumbles the snap originally, managed to get a hold of it and fired out to the right. But it's tackled for a few yards loss on the play. But there is also our first flag of the day as well. We'll see what the referees call on this play. Unsportsmanlike conduct for taunting against the defense. So after they finally make a play, it's going to be half the distance to the goal. So great opportunity for the DC Defenders to get on the board first. It's 1st and goal. From just inside the 10-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Looking like it's going to be a pass play. Scrambles out to his left. No, he's going to get brought down for a huge sack. All the way back at the 19-yard line. The Battlehawks got him down 7 times last week. And that's the first one of today. It's a 9-yard sack on the plate. It's going to set up a 2nd and goal from the 19. I appreciate you, Brian. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you've had a good week. But yeah, we're going to be live streaming a couple of games this week. We're going to be, obviously, this one and then the Tuesday night game. So we get to see the Battlehawks play. So the Battlehawks against the Renegades. Probably the game of the week, actually, this week. Snap back to Tamu. 2nd goal fired in. And the defender gets his hand in there. Incomplete. But we have got another flag. Crowd don't like it. And that's Smith again, who had the earlier unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against him. Made a great play, got his hand in there. and then afterwards threw the receiver down. So we're going to get a first and goal again for the defenders now. Silly play from Smith. So back at the 12-yard line now. It's a handoff up the left side. Make some moves and tackle down inside the 5, right around the 3-yard line. Monty Python taunts. Yeah, go Battlehawks. I mean, we picked the Battlehawks as our team when we started watching the XFL a few years ago. So glad to get an opportunity to watch them this week. So got a pistol formation for Tamu this time. Snap back to him. It's a handoff up the left side. And the offensive line come in, push him, but I think the referees have blown the whistle already. And they're going to blow the play dead right around the 1-yard line. It's going to bring up a third and goal from the 1. So can the Columbus Aviators keep the defenders out of the end zone? Third and goal from the 1-yard line. Run heavy formation. Snap back to Tamu. It's a handoff up the middle. And he's in for the touchdown. And the defenders, just like last week against the Battlehawks, take an early lead.
Touchdown!
And really had their way on that drive. They obviously had the big sack, the Aviators, but that ended up getting negated due to silly penalties. So 2 costly penalties against the cornerback Smith for the Aviators. Meant that the defenders had a couple of shots at first and goal. And got into the end zone for the touchdown. Here we go for the extra point attempt from the left hash. The kick is up. And did that go through? It did, just inside the right upright. The defenders take a 7-0 lead. So good start for the DC defenders. Bit sloppy from the Aviators. Smith made an excellent play on that third down before chucking the receiver down. He knew he got his hand in there to knock the ball away, and then made the stupid decision to then chuck the receiver down afterwards, and got called for his second penalty on the drive, and it ended up proving costly in the end. Yeah, not a good start for the Aviators. But hopefully they can bounce back. You know, the Kings last week conceded an early touchdown against the favourites, the Birmingham Stallions, but they came back and really the Kings had many opportunities to win that game, but fell just short in the end, 15-13. But it was a good start in the UFL last week. If you watched it last week, you have to let me know which your favourite game was and who are the early favourites. I mean, the Dallas Renegades were the most comprehensive winners last week. A lot of yards thrown. It's 376 yards thrown by Austin Reed, the quarterback for the Dallas Renegades. So I look forward to that game on Tuesday. The Battlehawks be travelling to face Dallas on Tuesday night. And the Battlehawks have got one of the best defenses in the league. And the Renegades have shown they can put up points. So it'll be a good one Tuesday night. So hopefully you can join us on Tuesday for that one. But the DC defenders last week started off pretty hot. But After that first quarter against the Battlehawks, they got completely shut out for the remaining three quarters of that game. They've started hot in this one. They'll be looking to build on it this time around, though. That's an interesting stat, isn't it? All the UFL teams this season got brand new head coaches, except the DC Defenders, who have actually kept all of their coaching staff from last year. The Defenders, of course, are the reigning UFL champions after beating the Michigan Panthers in the championship last season. So ready to kick it back off to the Aviators. The kick is up and it bounces into the end zone for the touchback. And so it's going to be McClendon coming out for the Aviators to quarterback. And starting from the 40-yard line as well. So very, very good starting field position. It's Jalen McClendon. Had a decent game last week. 212 passing yards, 30 rushing yards. But the Columbus Aviators fell just short against the Orlando Storm, 23-16. So under centre, single back formation. It's going to be a throw out to the right side. Incomplete. And the coach on the sidelines, Ted Ginn Jr., former Miami Dolphin, of course. His head coach of the Columbus Aviators was complaining to the referee there. He thought that the running back out the backfield was getting held on that play, but no flags. We've got McClendon in shotgun now. 2nd and 10. It's a handoff up the middle. Makes a couple of moves and tackle down after a 4-yard carry. It's going to set up a 3rd and 6. Shotgun formation on 3rd and 6 from their own 44-yard line. Snap back to McClendon. Defender send pressure thrown over the middle. It's caught. And they need a 6-yard. Got 7. And first down for the Aviators. And now they have crossed midfield, which means that they cannot punt from this point. And can they answer back with a touchdown of their own and try and at least tie this game up? Single back formation. It's a play action pass from McClendon. Thrown. Diving catch at the 44-yard line. And it's going to set up a 2nd down and around 6. 2nd and 5, they're going to call it. So 2nd and 5, snap back to McClendon. Quick fire pass out, setting up the screen to the tight end, who makes a couple of moves and takes the ball inside the 40-yard line. It's a 1st down for the Aviators. So a good start for them on offense as well. It's good to have a back and forth game when plenty of scoring. So clock ticking, just under 8 minutes left in this first quarter. Still 7-0 DC, but the Aviators are driving at the minute. It's going to be a quick fire pass. No, it's deflected down, battered down at the line. So set up a 2nd and 10 for the Aviators. Todd Haley there for the Aviators. So shotgun formation from the 37-yard line. Snap back to McClendon, looking to pass. Scrambles out to his right, sets off running himself. And steps out of bounds right at the line to gain. That's going to be a 1st and 10. Did well. Found a gap in the pocket. Set off running. Was decisive. And 1st and 10 for the Aviators. So it was I formation with now motion. 3 receivers out to the left. There's 4 receivers, an empty backfield, and 4 receivers out to the left. Now motion to receiver back across to the right. Sets up the screen. It's caught. Makes a move at the 30 and tackled down. I believe that's close to a 1st down. Really nice drive from the Aviators, this one. After conceding that early touchdown. It is a 1st and 10. Nice design on the play from the Aviators on offense. Set up the wide receiver screen. And tackle down just inside the 20-yard line for a 1st and 10. So they're on the DC 17-yard line. It's McClendon in the shotgun. Snap back to him. Looking to pass. Fired to the left side. And it's incomplete. On this occasion, it's going to set up a 2nd and 10 from the 17. So 2nd 10. Snap back to McClendon. It's a handoff this time. Bounces out to the right. Still going. And gets close to a 1st down. Looks like it's a yard and a half shy. Probably going to call this a 3rd and 2. Really nice move. It's supposed to be run up the middle, but bounced out to the right and took the ball down to around the 8-yard line. 3rd and 2. Single back formation. It's a carry up the middle and gets enough for the 1st down. It's a 3-yard carry. Takes the ball down to the 6-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and goal for the Aviators. Hi, Johnny. Thank you very much for joining us. McClendon's playing well so far. He is. Decisive. I think that's there's a problem last week. Wasn't making those decisive decisions. But looks good so far. Can he get into the end zone? Step back to McClendon, looking to pass. Thrown to the left. Seems to be a miscommunication. There's no receiver out there. Incomplete. And they get a 2nd and goal. Who are you supporting in this one, Johnny? Are you a DC fan, a Columbus fan? So the Wonder Dog had to go out. A Bichon Frise. Glad to have you back, Brian. Are you supporting the Aviators in this one, aren't you? Come on, Aviators. There you go. You answered my question before I even said. Shotgun formation. Now back to McClendon. Sets off running up the middle. And gets pulled into the end zone by his running back. And it looked like a design QB run. The QB draw play. And McClendon gets into the end zone. Aviators, touchdown.
Touchdown!
And the crowd are pumped. Looks like a decent crowd there, to be honest. Looks good. And I think they're trying to get her interview with McClendon as soon as he's come off the field. Cameras in his face straight away. Here comes the extra points. Try and tie it up from the left hash. And the kick is good. We have a tie ball game. The DC defenders go down the field after taking the opening kickoff. But then the Columbus Aviators answer right back. Tie the game up 7-7. This is a game we want. Back and forth game. So, by the way, how about the Battlehawks defense last week? Outstanding. I mean, I was a little nervous, the fact the defenders getting out to that early lead last week, but from the second quarter onwards, absolute shutdown, 2 interceptions, 7 sacks, completely shut them down. I'm looking forward to seeing the Battlehawks on Tuesday against the Dallas Renegades. That'll be a tough one going into Dallas. But if the Battlehawks are able to go there and beat the Renegades, I think they become the early favourites in the UFL. That's 2 tough games to go and play. Going to playing the defenders and then following that right up with the Renegades, 2 established UFL teams. But I think they'll firmly put themselves as the favourite. You could argue that if the Renegades were to win, that they'd be the early favourites as well. Yes, the atmosphere in St. Louis was amazing last week. Always seems to be. Got arguably the best fan base in the UFL. Maybe the defenders have something to say about that. But, always a great atmosphere. And we'll see how the team do on the road on Tuesday night. We will be live streaming that one as well. Can't wait to to see how they get on. See, I was a bit nervous about the Battlehawks' choice about going up with Brandon Silvers rather than Duggan. But if they're winning, they're going to stick with Silvers, aren't they? Seemed a bit slow starting, but got the job done and got the crucial drive that they needed in that second half as well. So who would I like to win in this one? I'm with the underdogs. I like the Aviators to win. I think that really puts the defenders on the back foot, having won the UFL championship last season. So yeah, I'm all for the Aviators winning. More than anything, what I want from this season is that all these 8 teams are in the UFL in 2027. They just need consistency. This needs stability. And hopefully that's the case. The kickoff is up. It's returnable from the 10-yard line. And tackled down right around the 26. And that's where Jordan Tamu will start the second drive. So just under 4 minutes left in this first quarter. Quite a fast-moving first quarter as well, with both teams driving nicely on their first possessions. So Johnny as well, Aviators for sure. So we're all backing them today so far. Tamu in the pistol. It's a handoff up the right side. Nice run. Go on, get him down. Eventually tackled down after a 13-yard carry. First down, DC. Hey, I'm all for an offensive battle. Most of the games were defensive last week. So I'm all for a high-scoring game. That is close, of course, as well. Snap back Tamu. It's a handoff up the middle again. It looked like a 4 or 5 yard carry. Takes the ball up to around the 43-yard line. So I had a family settle in Ohio after the Revolutionary War. Been all over the place, Brian, you have. A family from everywhere, you've been everywhere. It's no wonder you were a fan of so many NFL and UFL teams. So 2nd and 5 from the 43. Snap back to Samu. It's a handoff again up the left side this time. And tackle down a yard short of the line to gain. It's going to be a 3rd and 1. Close to the 50-yard line, but not quite there. I mean, you have to let me know, what do you think of that rule of not being able to punt once you cross the 50-yard line? It's an interesting one. I don't think it's one that the NFL will ever take on themselves, but it's an interesting one. So I move back in the shotgun. Snap back to him. It's a handoff up the left side. It's going to be a 1st down and more. And pushed out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. So the DC defenders have crossed midfield now. And we'll see if they're able to end this drive with points as well. Nice blocking. Really nice blocking. Sealing the edge. And Smith, the running back, had a clear lane up the left side. Take the ball for the 1st down. So ball on the 38-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Play action pass. Run pass option. Sets off on it himself. And slides down after a 3-yard carry. The flag comes in late. I don't know if I agree with that one. I think they're going to say hits to Tiamu. As he went down, a defender also came flying in, leaning in. DC were calling for the flag. The referees are discussing it now. I don't know if I like that call. I think the defender had already committed. We are going to give the personal foul. So that's the 3rd very costly penalty against the Aviators on defense already in this game. Let's have a look. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that call. I think the defender had already committed. Snap back to Samu. 1st down, it's a handoff up the middle. And a 4-yard carry takes the ball down to the 16-yard line. And we might have time for one last play before the end of the 1st quarter. It's gone really quick. So seeing the 4.6-yard field goal in person last week was insane. The dome deflated for a second. Yeah, we'll see if we get any today. Obviously, it was Matt McCrane, the DC defenders kicker. Snap back to Tiamu. Dumped off in the flat to the running back, who I think has lost yards on the play. And that's going to take us to the end of the 1st quarter with the game tied at 7. So plenty of offense so far. I'm happy with that. Let's give some points. Let's get some points. Defenders are driving. It's going to be a 3rd down coming up when we start the 2nd quarter. It's a great rule, the 4-point option. I think it's quite divisive. From a UFL standpoint, I think the 4-point is a good thing. But we're having NFL kickers nail it from over 60. There's a few kickers that have done it now, and I don't think the NFL would risk it becoming a kicking show. I think it's good for the UFL because I don't think it's something that's going to happen often. It's great to have a weapon like that. So obviously the DC defenders know they've got a great weapon in Matt McCrane who can can kick those 60-yarders. I don't think the NFL will adopt it though. Because I just think they'll see it as taken away from the offense. We'll find any more excitement. 4-point field goal, and I assume we're talking about the no punting once you cross the 50 as well. So I love special teams, trick plays, and so on. Plenty of opportunities in the UFL as well. Obviously, they can have that double forward pass as long as they're both behind the line of scrimmage. I'm not aware of anyone doing it last week from what I saw. You'll have to correct me if you did see any of the teams try that, a double forward pass, but not something that I saw. And then we had that one 4-point field goal from McCrane, which is a great option. I say if you've got somebody that can make those long kicks, the chance to get 4 points on the board. So what's your take on Ricky Prohl's coaching last week? I think he did a decent job. I mean, he's got big shoes to fill. I think that Anthony Beck did a great job at the Battlehawks. I was disappointed when I found out he's leaving, and even more so to go and join a rival UFL team. And I will sort of adopt the Orlando Storm as my second team because of that. So I can't wait for those two to face off. I think it's in a couple of weeks, towards the end of April. But I think it's in Orlando as well. So I was a bit gutted about that, but I think Proles did a good job. I think he settled in, and he had the team fired up. He's very active on the sideline, and he'll have another big test on Tuesday. So I think he did a good job. We'll see how it develops across the season. So snap back to Samu. Fired over the middle towards the 5-yard line. It's incomplete. And that's going to set up a 4th and 7. And perhaps the first time we will see McCrane for a 3-point attempt from here. So an opportunity to take a 10-7 lead if McCrane can kick it through the uprights. So it's from the right hash, a 35-yarder. Should be easy for McCrane from here, having kicked a 60 last week. The kick is up and straight down the middle. The defenders take a 10-7 lead in this one. So the field goal's good. And looks a decent kicker. And we've already seen a couple of kickers from the XFL, USFL, UFL make it into the NFL. I mean, Brandon Aubrey is probably the biggest success story with the Cowboys. You've also got Bates with the Lions as well. So will McCrane be the next one lined up to get a shot in the NFL? It's a great opportunity. So the kickers, not always drafted in the NFL. And if they are drafted in the NFL, let's be fair, there's a high expectation on those kickers once they do reach their team, because a draft capital's been spent on them, and we've seen failed experiments and failed picks happen quite recently. The Patriots themselves, as New England Patriots fans, we've seen that with Chad Ryland. But they'll be hoping that Bowie Garlis proves better. He had a decent season last season. But there's also Jake Moody as well, who's taken quite high by the 49ers and was ended up getting released as well. But I think he ended up on another team, didn't he, in the end? So the UFL is a good opportunity for kickers to show off their talents and give themselves the chance of getting into the NFL that way. At least getting themselves into a kicker competition in training camp. We see that so many times of even teams that have got fairly established kickers bringing in another kicker just to give that little bit of competition. Let's just advertise him. We're going to get Gavin DeGraw for the halftime show today of the opening kickoff. So last week at the game, we watched the Birmingham Stallions game against the Louisville Kings. It was Russell Dickerson, the country singer. We get Gavin DeGraw today for any One Tree Hill fans out there. So the kick is up and returnable from the 5-yard line for the Aviators. Makes a couple of nice moves at 30. And tackled down right at the 30-yard line. And so we're going to get McClendon out for his second drive. The Aviators mascot Maverick, the dog, having a picture with Gavin DeGraw. Single back formation from the 30-yard line. So we've got an I-Pro formation to the right. It's a handoff to the right. And the defenders are there. Smother that play up for a 4-yard loss. You set up a 2nd and 14. Yeah, Cousins, big money to the Raiders. I mean, how does he keep doing it? I mean, it's an interesting stat. I think, hasn't Kirk Cousins, he's either earned, I think he's earned the 3rd most career money out of any quarterback. I think he's actually, his career will have earned more money than Tom Brady. How does that happen? I say play action pass. Probably should have been a sack, but McClendon stood in there, got the pass off for a 3-yard completion. She's going to set up a 3rd and 10, I think. Maybe a 3rd and 11. So 3rd and 11 with just over 13 minutes left in the second quarter. Just inside their own 30-yard line. It's McClendon in the shotgun. Snap back to him. Looking to pass. Sets off running up the left side. Makes a move and dives forward. A 13-yard run and a 1st down for Columbus. Dangerous with his legs. The defender's got to figure out a way to keep him in the pocket, whether that's a QB spy. I don't know, but they've got to keep him in the pocket. So 1st and 10 for the Aviators. Now up to their own 42-yard line. Single back formations, handoff, bounces to the right. And tackled down after a 3-yard carry, but we have got a flag. Horse collar tackle. Interesting call. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a great call to be, to be honest. I don't know how they saw that. But it's a 1st and 10 for the Aviators. And they're now crossed midfield. They're up to the 41-yard line of DC. I-pro formation to the right. It's a handoff up the left, though. And just about gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe half a yard gain on that one to bring up a 2nd down. So 2nd and 9 coming up. From just outside the 40-yard line. It's a play action pass for McClendon. Moves out to his left. Sets off running again. It's a 3-yard carry up the left side. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. Have you ever considered becoming an American? No? To be honest, no, I haven't, Brian. I don't know if the Americans would accept me. Oh, come on, Aviators. Chance to at least tie this game up with a field goal on 3rd and 6. Motion receiver from left over to the right. McClendon, snap back to him. Thrown over the middle. It's caught and tackled down a couple of yards short of the line to gain. It's going to bring up a 4th down. We'll see if the Aviators go for it from here. Hi, Ears Takes. Thanks for joining us. Where are you watching it? Is it on? Unfortunately, it's not on DAZN. DAZN have not got the rights for it, at least at the moment. If you're watching from the UK, there's just nowhere to watch it. I had to get creative to be able to watch this. I'm watching it on Fox. It's a 51-yard field goal from the right hash to try and tie this game up. Here we go. The kick is up and it's skewing to the left. And it's no good. The defenders stay in front. The defenders stay in front 10-7. That's a shame. After another decent drive from the Aviators. Came up short. But great starting field position for the defenders on that next drive, trying to add to their lead now, a 10-7 lead. Yeah, unfortunately, just going back to that, for some reason, the UFL haven't seemed to have made any agreements with streaming platforms outside of the US, which means that fans in the UK or in Europe have got a problem. I mean, DAZN might pick it up partway through the season, but at least for now they haven't. So having to stream it in other ways. So watching it on Fox at the minute, probably with a huge delay. But there you go. At least we've got it. Let us know who's your UFL team and who you're supporting in this one as well. No, that's not good. It's not. And I don't know why, because the UFL have made such a massive push and promotion on this season. And, with all the promotion about the teams, there's been loads of sponsorships and partnerships being advertised over on X about teams that are partnered with big firms and, making these big deals about the halftime shows on the home openers of each of these teams. But for some reason, it hasn't been picked up. I mean, last season obviously was live on DAZN the entire season for free, but obviously the DAZN have not deemed it worthwhile at this point. So following the Dallas Renegades, where there's a great matchup coming up on Tuesday night, it's the Dallas Renegades are going to be hosting the St. Louis Battlehawks. Two teams that have been around for a few years now. Should be a great one, that one. Looking forward to that. We're going to be calling that one live play-by-play as well on Tuesday night. So it's DC back with the ball on their own 40-yard line. It's a handoff. No, it's not. It's a fake from Tamu. He faked me out. I think and the cameraman as well. It was a fake sweep. He kept it himself and ran straight through the heart of the defense. The defenders completely bought it as well. That's the Aviators defenders completely bought it. Takes it into Columbus territory up to the 43-yard line. And it's a handoff up the right side this time. Makes a nice move, a 6-yard, maybe a 5-yard carry. Takes the ball inside the 40. And the defenders got the ball on the move again. Scored on their opening 2 drives. A touchdown on the first one. And then a field goal on the second. They're looking to add to their points tally on this one. Shotgun formation for Tamu. It's a handoff again this time. And the running back gets within a yard of the first down. It's set up a 3rd and 1. So Brian said they need improvements on network viewing. So minimal mainstream television availability. Yeah, I mean, somebody was talking about it on X that apparently DC on some networks are only showing the DC games and they're not showing any of the other games or something. Snap back to Tamu. It's a handoff to the running back, but the Aviators are there. Stuff the play at the line, which is going to bring up a 4th and 1. And a decision for the defenders. I think they're going to go for it on 4th down by the looks of it. They need a yard. Well, according to 4th and 3, I'm going to say he's lost a yard on that play. So can the Columbus defense make a huge stop here? Single back formation. Tamu boots out to the right, looks downfield, throws back across his body. It's caught right around the 30-yard line. 1st down defenders. Nice play design. Got Tamu out of the pocket. And his receiver settled down nicely in a wide open zone at the 30-yard line. 1st down defenders. Nice play design on that one. Step back to Tamu. It's a handoff. And the running back dives down after 6 or 7 yard carry to set up a 2nd down. It's around 6.5 minutes left. I mean, these quarters seem to fly in the UFL. They seem to go really quickly with the moving clock, especially obviously when teams are driving really well. We've got a shotgun formation for Tamu. There's a handoff to the running back again. Bounces to the right and just about tackled down. It is going to be a 1st down for the DC defenders, but it could have been much, much more. It was a good tackle in the end. But a new set of downs for the defenders. And the DC defenders are into the red zone now. Just talking about network coverage. There's been a lot of complaints about the ESPN coverage. And I'll come back to that in a second. It's a handoff again up the left side. And stopped right at the 10-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 2 from the 10. So not a good trend happening. I assume we're talking about the defenders on the move. Driving nicely. I think we've got a timeout called. I think the Aviators have called that. I think they need a quick break because they're getting run all over on this drive by the defenders. Yeah, going back to there's been some complaints about the ESPN coverage of the games. I mean, I didn't watch one of the ESPN ones, but apparently they've been a bit too creative with the camera shots and camera angles, drone footage, and things like that. But let me know if you've watched a game that's been broadcast on ESPN. Let me know what your thoughts are. I mean, fortunately, this one's obviously on Fox. The one on Tuesday is also on Fox, so I won't have to put up with any of that just yet. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. Well, it's looks like it's blowing in the direction of the Aviators' end zone at the minute. Looks like only one short outcome on this drive, the way that it's going. And that's going to be the defenders extending their lead. So let's know on the screen there, we've got the remaining games of week 2. Obviously, we've got the DC Defenders at the Columbus Aviators in our game here, but then we've also got coming up this weekend, we've got the Louisville Kings at the Orlando Storm, Birmingham Stallions at the Houston Gamblers, and then the St. Louis Battlehawks at the Dallas Renegades on Tuesday, which most would argue that it's the best game of the week. I mean, in my predictions, we've got our video out on our channel. It's going to be our weekly UFL weekly roundup video, so make sure you check that out. It'll be coming out on Wednesday next week, with the Battlehawks playing on Tuesday night. So we'll be releasing that. So we recap the 4 games of the week with highlights, and then also talk about the standings, the key takeaways from the week, and then look ahead to the following week. So make sure you check that out. If you're not already subscribed on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're covering the UFL all season. And out of the timeout, it's a handoff to the running back, makes the first down and into the end zone. And it looked like only one short outcome, as I said, on this drive. It's Valaday that gets into the end zone for the defenders. And the Aviators just could not stop the run game on that drive.
Touchdown!
Just ran all over them, and the Aviators will need to work something out because the DC defenders will just do that all game if they can. And they're going to attempt an extra point, try and make this a 10-point ball game. Kicking it from the left hash. And the kick is up. It's through the uprights. We've got a flag. I think it was for an offside. They've declined the penalty because the kick went through the uprights. The defenders now lead 17-7. So I watched the highlights, and even those aren't easy to find. No, I mean, they put the highlights obviously on YouTube. But, yeah, we're going to... There's a bit more freedom with the highlights with the UFL. There's not as much copyright stuff as it is with the NFL. So the NFL, like, I can't use too many clips, game video clips in our videos that we put out on YouTube. But with the UFL, there's a little bit more freedom with that. So I'll be able to get more extensive top tier clips in our videos over on YouTube. So hopefully the key highlights from each of the games I'll be able to get. So like the condensed versions, all the scoring plays and the big plays I'll be able to get into our highlights package as part of our videos will come out each week. So make sure you check those out. So we did week 1. That came out on Tuesday last week. Or this week. That's just gone. So our next one for week 2 will be coming out on Wednesday next week after all the games have completed. So we will be having a look at the recap of, obviously, week 2, talking about the standings, the key takeaways, getting those key highlights in there as well. And then we'll be looking ahead to week 3, making our predictions. So Brian has gone with Storm, Stallions and Battlehawks. That's exactly what we did as well. I mean, that Kings and Storms game could be close. The Kings played well against the Stallions and had some costly errors in that one. Could quite easily come away having won that game at home against the Birmingham Stallions. But it is in Orlando. So we'll see. I think it's going to be close, that one. Stallions, you would think, are heavy favourites against the Gamblers. And the Battlehawks and Renegades, it's a defence versus offence type game. But I did go with the Battlehawks. So you've gone exactly the same as me. I did pick the DC Defenders in this game over the Aviators. I want the Aviators to win, but I did pick DC. You know, Brian said too easy for DC on that drive. It was just pounded the ball. And the Aviators just looked gassed on defence, to be honest. You have to figure it out on the sidelines before the Defenders' next offensive drive. And the kick is up. Returnable from the 5-yard line for the Aviators. Tries bouncing it around and the ball comes out at the end, but I think he's already down. And we've got some pushing and shoving after the play. I don't think he actually ended up getting back to the 20-yard line after bouncing it around. So not the best starting field position for the Aviators on this one. Down 10 points and a crucial drive. Before half-time, they need to get points on the board. So handoff on first down. Nice move. Bounces to the left. And a good 12-yard carry takes it up past the 30-yard line. And a first down for the Aviators. So just under 5 minutes left. And it's important that this drive ends with points and taking as much time off the clock as well before this game goes into half-time. So from their own 32-yard line, McClendon in the shotgun looking to pass and gets pushed back and dragged down on the sack. A huge sack for the defenders. And a big yardage loss as well. He's going to set up a second and long for the Aviators. And they're getting brought down right around the 25-yard line. So 7-yard loss on the plate. I'm going to call it 8 yards on the plate. Snap back to McClendon again. Looks to set off running himself, but has got nowhere to go. Not the smartest decision in there. The defenders were stood there waiting for him. That's going to set up a 3rd and 18. Need to convert. So last year, 4 of 8 teams were from Texas. Spread them out a little bit more this time around. Which is good. Snap back to McClendon. Throw no short over the middle. Gets a nice block. Oh, and he's going to be about a half a yard short of the line to gain. Surely you've got to go for this. It's in your own half, but you've got to go for this. Just under 3 minutes left. You don't want to be giving DC the ball back at this point. But it's also could prove costly if you don't make it. So a 4th and 1. And I think we've got a timeout called. By the DC defenders. So 2 minutes, 26 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter. And a huge 4th and 1, a big decision for the Aviators to make. They are in their own half. So look at that, 110 rushing yards already in this game for the defenders. Going to look to do more of that in the second half. If the Aviators don't find an answer, but a huge play coming up here. 4th and 1 for the Aviators. From their own 42-yard line. It's a play action pass, and it's incomplete. McClendon had his running back out the backfield and unable to connect. He threw it behind. And he has to make that pass. He had 2 defenders in his face. But he had his running back was open. Just needed the touch and accuracy on it. Didn't. And now the defenders have the ball back and already in Aviators territory as well. And now this game could quickly get out of hand if the defenders are able to get into the end zone. So from the 41-yard line of the Aviators, it's Tamu, lofted pass, and caught, taken down to around the 13-yard line. The defenders are in the red zone and have scored on every drive so far. 3 drives. They've scored 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal, and are already back at least in field goal range. But they'll be wanting more from this position. Great touch and pass from Tamu. This could take us down to the 2-minute warning, in fact, as the clock starts running again. The Columbus Aviators need a play. They need to get a stop here and, at worst, a field goal attempt. But if the DC get in here, probably going to kick an extra point if they do. They could find themselves 17 points down. That's why it was a risky decision to go for it from your own 40-yard line, 42-yard line. The play was there for McClendon. He did have 2 rushes in his face, but should have been able to complete that pass. Just a little bit of touch, just lofted it over the defender's head. Had a wide open running back, unable to find him. And now the defenders inside the 15-yard line have a chance to make it 4 scoring drives in a row to start this game. It has to be said that Tamu looks much more settled in this one compared to last week against the Battle Hawks. Had a great first quarter, but Then struggled. The offense really struggled from that point. From there. So yeah, so last week in my predictions I went 3-1. I did pick against the Battlehawks. I picked against my own team. I just thought the DC Defenders. I knew it was going to be close. I just thought the DC Defenders would win by a field goal. But the Battlehawks did the job. So I was happy to be wrong on that one. Called the other 3 correct. And this week I've gone with the DC Defenders. The same as what Brian has said. I've picked the Storm at home. The Birmingham Stallions away at the Houston Gamblers. And then the St. Louis Battlehawks to beat the Dallas Renegades in the game of the week. So coming out the 2-minute warning. Will it be another touchdown of the third of this first half for the DC Defenders, or will the Columbus Aviators be able to get the stop? We will find out. It's 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Snap back to Tiamu. Handoff up the middle. Touchdown, DC Defenders, straight up the middle. Deion Jackson, right up the heart of the Aviators defense. And they just cannot stop the run at the minute.
Touchdown!
Just didn't have enough defenders in the box. So soon as he broke the first tackle in the backfield, Jackson had a clean run to the end zone. And in what looked like a close game at the start of this one, has now opened up to a 16-point difference. Could be 17 with this McCrane extra point attempt from the left hash, which is good. The Defenders lead 24-7. Now, the good news for the Aviators is because the touchdown happened so quickly after the 2-minute warning, it means that they have got plenty of time, 1 minute 56 seconds, and timeouts to drive on and try and score on this next possession and try and go in maybe at 24-14. They do get the ball to start the second half as well, so have that opportunity of a double possession before and after half time if they can. But they could have the worst case scenario of not scoring or trying to force something, which could often lead to turnover and then the defenders scoring more points before half time. So at the worst case scenario, the Aviators need to go in at 24-7 down. Can't afford to be worse than that. This ain't looking good. It certainly isn't. From what started off really positively, right up to that point where the Aviators missed that game-tying field goal. It was 10-7 at that point, and then the Aviators kicker missed wide left the 51-yard field goal. And from that point, the DC Defenders have just decided to run the ball. And ran it very well. Scored the touchdown to make it 17-7. And then the Aviators rolled the dice from their own 42-yard line. Didn't make the 4th and 1. And again, the DC Defenders, after quick completion down the left side, took the ball inside the 15-yard line and then a handoff up the middle. 2-play touchdown. Got a 24-7 ball game. So I have a bad feeling the way this game is suddenly turned. You know, this could end up being a bit of a rout Important the Aviators put a drive together here. ...113 rushing yards already in this game. So here comes the kick. Returnable from the 5-yard line. Need a decent return here. Oh, what a hit. What a hit at the 21-yard line. Woof. Felt that one from here. Did well to hold on to the ball, but what a hit. Wow. Ouch. Yeah. What a hit. Thrown. Caught for a 7-yard completion. Has to catch his breath after that one. But he did well to get up from that one and hold on to the ball. Wow. Snap back to McClendon. 2nd and 3. Fired. I think it's tipped at the line. It's incomplete. Sets up a 3rd and 3. They just start to look a bit nervous. The Aviators on offense now. So 3rd and 3 coming up. So McClendon in the shotgun, snap back to him. Looking to pass, thrown over the middle. It's incomplete again. 4th and 3, and surely the Aviators aren't going to roll the dice this time. Meaning they're going to have to punt, and there's still 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Oh, he did so well to hold on to that ball, White. So they are in punt formation. The first punt of the night. Not at a good time either for the Aviators. Down 17 points. The punt is up. Return. Oh, he's fumbled it. Here's a chance for the Aviators. Can they get on top of it? They've got it. They've got a lifeline. Oh, just when they needed it. The punt goes up completely muffed by the defender's returner, and it bounces right in front of him. And a Columbus Aviators special teamer dived on top of it. And that means that the Aviators have got a lifeline. Short field to work with. And my stream has just decided to crash at the wrong time. So I haven't seen that last play. We'll see what happened on that last play. On the replay, hopefully. I've got a flag on that play. We'll see what this one. We'll see what happened then. So it was a snap back to McClendon. Tried to set up the running back screen. It gets tipped at the line. And then tipped into an offensive lineman's hands. So we kind of tried to set it up to the running back screen. It got tipped to the line and bounced up into the air. and ends up in an Aviators offensive lineman's hands. And now we've got a flag, which the referees are discussing. Maybe it's needed that one for sure. They absolutely did. We still should hopefully have a game on our hands if the Aviators can get into the end zone here. That is the play we'll be talking about if the Aviators make a game of this. And the referees are still discussing what's happening on this one. We're still discussing it. And they're still discussing it. We're discussing whether it's a dead ball foul, unnecessary roughness. And now they're going to review. After all of that, they're going to review as to whether it was a penalty or not. This is almost reaching the heights of VAR in the Premier League, this one. It's taken that long. The crowd aren't liking it. They're wanting the game to continue. So the same player on defense for the defenders, a face mask and also a personal foul. So that sets up the Aviators nicely. So come on, Aviators, let's get into the end zone. This is your chance. So they've got 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line of the defenders now. Shotgun formation for McClendon. Snap back to him. He's looking to pass. It's complete. And a 1st down. But we have got another flag. It would be a 14-yard completion. I think McClendon got hit late. Let's have a look on the replay. Oof. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. You're not allowed to drive the quarterback into the ground. It was a good hit originally, but you have to let go. He got fully hold of him and drove him down into the ground, shoulder pad into the stomach. So it will be a penalty against the DC defenders as well. We've had a few penalties in this game. Aviators was a good move about Howard Hughes. Is that the one? Is that the one with? Is it DiCaprio in that one? The Aviator. Is that one you're talking about? The Aviator. We've got a timeout for the DC defenders with just over a minute left in this game. In this half, sorry. We've got a 1st and goal coming up. So this game has gone pretty quickly so far, up until inside the 2 minutes where we seem to have slowed right down. Yeah, so Columbus Ohio isn't too far from right past an AF base So I know they've taken their name from that, the aviation industry. You know, the Wright brothers, NetJets, things like that over in Columbus. And that's where the name came from. So we've got first and goal. Can the Aviators get into the end zone? So the 5.5 yard line is a handoff, bounces to the left and jumps into the end zone. It's White into the end zone for the Aviators, Quandre White. And that makes it 24-13.
Touchdown!
We have a game. Just got to keep DC out of the end zone for the rest of this half. But we have a game. There's a sweep to the left. As Quandre White made a nice leap move at the end there to evade the defender, the diving tackler. But here comes the extra point attempt from the left hash. And the kick is good. It's 24-14, so the Aviators take advantage of the muffed punt. An excellent starting field position. Get into the end zone. And we've got a 10-point ball game. It's looking a lot better for them than it was a few minutes ago when they were lining up to punt for their own 30. And Brian likes that. We've got a game. But it's just important that they keep the defenders out of the end zone or stop them scoring again. We know that Matt McCrane last week hit a 60-yarder. So if they get in any sort of range, the defenders could attempt to add 4 points onto their lead. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Obviously, I want the Aviators to win. I think the DC defenders will win, but I want the Aviators to win. I won't mind seeing Matt McCrane 60-plus yard attempt. Let's see if he can go back to back. He kicked one last week against the Battlehawks. Can he do it again today? So nice, got to keep it going. Got to figure out how to stop the run game. Now, if the defenders are wanting to get down the field quickly, they're going to have to obviously open up the passing game. But at halftime, the Aviators need to figure out how they're stopping that DC run game, because it's absolutely pounded them in the second quarter in particular. But not long left in this second quarter now. Never surrender, Churchill. It's a great speech. We'll fight them everywhere. I can't remember it word for word, but I know he lists a load of places where we'll fight them. I thought it was a Quandre White that got absolutely lit up on that kick return. So 55 seconds. 55 seconds left in this second quarter. And Coe didn't reach the landing zone on the kick, meaning we've got a flag. An excellent starting field position now for the defenders. So the clock stops after a first down, like in college, inside the 2-minute warning. So we're glad to see the Aviators are still alive. For now, they need to get a stop. They need to get a stop on this drive. They need to be 24-14 going in at the half. It's an empty backfield for the defenders. Oh, it's a bad snap, but Tamu does well to gather it. He's thrown an interception at the 50. And it's returned up to the 43-yard line. So what a turnaround in this game. It was looking just like the Aviators were going to get blown out at 24-7 down and having to punt from their own 30-yard line. They get the muff punt. They recover that. They get it into the end zone. Tamu, it was a bad snap. He managed to gather it, but then tried to make a quick-fire throw over the middle and threw it straight to the waiting safety in the middle of the field. Threw 2 interceptions last week, Tamu. And after starting off the game really well, has thrown another one here. And the Aviators got a chance to make this a one-score game before the half. What a turnaround. Just got to show that graphic. Happier memories for the Patriots against the Seahawks team in the Super Bowl than the one that's just happened. So here we go. It's a shotgun formation from McClendon from the 41-yard line. It's a handoff up the middle and tackle down after a 3-yard carry. I think that's going to be the Aviators' first time out with 42 seconds left in the second quarter, which I say the game was absolutely flying until we got inside the 2-minute warning. I think this 2 minutes has lasted about half an hour so far. So yes, let's go. Let's go Aviators. So 2nd and 7 from the 38-yard line of the defenders. So now back to McClendon. Looking to pass, fire deep towards the right. And he's thrown an interception at the 10-yard line, trying to force it. Poor decision from McClendon. You're almost in field goal range. You can't force it there. And all the momentum that was with the Aviators has now been thrown away. So we get that graphic back to back. The ball's back with the defenders. And they take a knee at the 10-yard line. Now, I think that's probably going to take us into half-time as well. Disappointing for the Aviators. What an opportunity they had at the end of that second quarter. Down 10 points. Inside the 40-yard line. And they know they're getting the ball to start the second half as well. If they'd have just been able to kick a 3 and got in 24-17 down, it'd have been a one-score game going, with the ball to start the second half as well. So disappointing. But they are certainly still in the game. Down 10, and they do get the ball to start the second half. The missed field goal might be big. those sort of things do come back to haunt teams usually. And that interception, that was a poor throw. Poor throw and an even worse decision to throw the ball there as well. If the Aviators can pull this off, they would make a huge statement in the UFL. Absolutely. The opportunities are there if, and this is a big if they can stop the run. Because I think the defenders are going to try and pound the ball in the second half. They've seen an opening, and I think they're going to absolutely try and pound it. Just before we go to halftime, just a bit of self-promotion, if that's okay. We now have memberships available over on YouTube to become a member of our NFL UK Ops community. We have 3 tiers available. Our Pro Bowl tier, you get the custom emojis, loyalty badges, members-only live chats, members-only polls, member shout-outs, and priority reply to comments. That's in the UFL, obviously, and the NFL season. Our next tier up is the MVP. You get all the Pro Bowler perks. Plus, we'll design a personalised welcome graphic into our live streams for when you join our live streams. Members-only shorts, an entry into our 2026-27 Dynasty Fantasy League for next season in the NFL, and a discount on our NFL UK Ops merchandise. And also the Hall of Famer package. You get all of the perks from the previous 2 tiers. Plus, members only live catch-ups, streams, early access to new videos, priority game video and emote suggestions, and you're eligible to be a channel moderator over on YouTube as well. So if you'd like to do that, you can hit the join button. It's just under the screen, under the stream. I'll put the link to that in the chat as well. We appreciate everybody that supports the channel, comes along, and joins us on our live streams, watches our content, so subscribed. If you want to show that extra support, that's how you can do it. So it's going to take a short break for halftime. You can go and check out a bit of Gavin DeGraw, especially for any One Tree Hill fans out there as well. And we'll be back for the second half, where hopefully the Aviators can make a game of it. We'll see you very shortly. Hello, we're back for the second half of the DC Defenders versus the Columbus Aviators in week 2 of the UFL, and hoping that we do get a game in the second half. Hopefully the Aviators can put a scoring drive together and make this a one-score game. We've got the DC Defenders lined up ready to kick it back to the Aviators to start this game. And the second half, we'll see what we get. Let us know in the chats. Who do you think will win this game in the end? I mean, you've still got to stick with the Defenders, surely. I mean, I hope the Aviators make a game of it in the second half, but you know, the way that the Defenders were running the ball in that second quarter, it's going to be a long second half if the Aviators can't stop that run game. But first and foremost, Columbus need to put points on the board on this opening drive. Make this get this back to a one-score game. So we'll see if they are able to do that. And McCrane is ready to kick it back. And the kick is up. Returnable from the 9-yard line. And tackled down around the 34-yard line. So a decent return. So unfortunately, Defenders win. So going with head over heart there, Brian. I think that's what will happen, but we'll see if the Aviators can put up a fight. Got a shotgun formation, snap back to McClendon. He's looking to pass. Sets off running himself, makes a move. And dives forward after a 5-yard carry. Gets him close to the 40-yard line. So 2nd and 4 coming up. The shotgun formation. Snap back to McClendon. It's a handoff up the middle. Bounce off a tackle at the left side at the 50, at the 40. And tackled down at the 30-yard line. An excellent run by Lovett for the Aviators. Did really well to break out of the first tackle. And once he bounced out of that, turned on the jets. And tackled down around the 30-yard line. Empty backfield for the Aviators this time from the 31-yard line of the Defenders. Now motions a running back into the backfield with him. Snap back to McClendon. It's a handoff up the middle. And a 2-yard carry. We'll set up a 2nd and 8 inside the 30. So wow, it's a good start for the Aviators, but they've got to take advantage now. They're already in field goal range. But if they can get into the end zone for a touchdown, that's more like it. That's more like it. So 2nd and 8 from just inside the 30-yard line of the Defenders. Trips right formation out the shotgun. McClendon sets off running himself, gets a block, and slides down about a yard short of the line to gain. But we've got a flag. Nice against the Aviators. That's not what you need. It should be 10 yards further back. Seemed a bit of a soft penalty to call that one. So back at the 39, 2nd and 18 now. Start back to McClendon. Thrown, caught at the 30. And tackled down right around the 27-yard line. It's going to set up a 3rd down and a medium now for the Aviators. So 3rd and 6 coming up with 12 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. Trips right formation out the shotgun. The defenders are showing pressure at the line. They send only 4. McClendon scrambling around. The ball's out. And it's scooped up by the defenders. McClendon fumbles it. And then the defenders, just chaos. Defenders player runs off with it, then tackled by a Aviator. The ball comes out. What? The Aviators are somehow staying in this game. McClendon fumbles it. It's scooped up by a defender. Let's have another look. So then number 6 for the defenders runs off with the ball, celebrating, gets tackled. The ball comes out and then it's recovered by the Aviators. A crazy chain of events on this play. And they're going to rule number 6 down. He didn't get touched when his knee was down. He'd already got up. So Gardner is celebrating, then gets tackled. The ball comes out and then clearly recovered by the Aviators. What a crazy play. Wait to see it through to the end. Yeah, Garner's up. He's not touched when he's down. So he gets up, celebrating, holding the ball out, then gets tackled. What a crazy play. The Aviators are somehow still in this game. We'll use the graphic. We'll use it twice for the 2 fumbles. As it was a double fumble. Double fumble on the play, so we get double butt fumble from Mark Sanchez. If Garner would have sprinted, he'd have probably got a touchdown there on defense. So, 1st and 10 for the Aviators from their own 35-yard line. Snap back to McClendon. Try and set up the running back screen. Oof. It's a poor throw from McClendon. Set up the running back in a bad position. Has to go up, catch the ball high, and the DC defenders are on him. It's going to be a 6-yard loss on the plate. Set up a 2nd and 16 now. And let me know if you're watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of that double fumble play. Heads up play by the Columbus offensive player to go and tackle Gardner and get the ball out. Shotgun formation, 2nd and 16. And I think we've got a delay of game. Just when the Aviators get a bit of a lifeline, they start throwing it away again. Hi, John C. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an entertaining game. It looked like it was going to be a close game to start with until the defenders pulled away. The Aviators keep on getting an opportunity to get back into the game and then hurt themselves again. But let us know if you're watching the game and who you wanted to win this one. So now back to McClendon, thrown over the middle. And it's just a 1-yard completion. It's going to set up a 3rd and long now with just under 10 minutes left in this third quarter. It's a 3rd and 20 coming up for the Aviators. After starting the half so well. And now facing a 3rd and 20 inside their own half. A 3rd and 20 from their own 26. Now back to McClendon, looking to pass. Try scrambling out. The ball's out again. It's another fumble. But recovered, fortunately for the Aviators, right at their own 12-yard line. McClendon was bobbing about in the pockets. I think he was trying to find a seam to set off running. He was never going to get 20 yards from it. But then the ball got knocked out again. No, in fact, actually, his own player knocked the ball out of his hands, his own offensive lineman. And they just cannot settle into this game, the Aviators. The punt is a short punt, returnable from the 45-yard line. And taken up to the 50-yard line. And so with 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter, the DC defenders are already around halfway. An opportunity to add to their 10-point lead. I expect to see a lot of running the ball. Eat the clock, and if the Aviators can't stop you, score more points. So the Aviators got Kirk Cousins. They did. He's a good mentor, but I think that the Raiders sound like they've paid a bit too much for him, to be honest. To say that Kirk Cousins has never been... He's never been a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He's earned a lot of money in the NFL. He's done extremely well for himself, or his agent has done extremely well for him. But that surely the day one starter for the Raiders next season is going to be Mendoza. It's good to have a veteran on the sidelines. I'm sure that Kirk Cousins will embrace that role. But I think they've probably paid him a little too much, to be honest. But good for Kirk. Good for Kirk. So back in this game, really important drive for the Aviators have to either get a stop or a turnover on this drive to keep themselves in it. A touchdown for the defenders and making it a 17-point game. It's a long, long way back from there, even though in the UFL, that's still only a 2-score game. Obviously, in the NFL, that would be a 3-score game. Obviously, you can score up to 9 points with a touchdown and a 3-point conversion. But it's a long way back from 17 points down. I mean, it's been a back and forth game, though. The Aviators have had chances. The DC defenders have given them chances, but they've not been able to take advantage. So the ball is on the 50. It's a handoff up the middle. And a 2-yard carry. It's going to set up a 2nd and 8, but they are into Columbus territory now, which means that they will not be able to punt. Snap back to Tamu. It's a handoff. Burst through at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, and into the end zone. And the Columbus Aviators cannot stop the run. It's Jackson with a huge touchdown run. And that makes it 30-14.
Touchdown!
Just cannot stop it. So it's a fake jet sweep and a handoff to Jackson. Finds a seam, and soon as he hits it, goodbye. Cannot catch him. And a huge touchdown run for the DC defenders. So here comes the extra point attempt for McCrane from the left hash. And it's straight down the middle. 31-14. It's a long, long way back for the Aviators from here. The defensive line folded. It just a small seam, and soon as he hit it, he was just gone. And I think the defenders have worked that out, that they can run the ball. And once you know that you can run the ball at will, very hard for the other team to come back then. It's something the Aviators need to fix, not just in this game, but also moving forward as well, because if other teams work out that they can run the ball really well, it's going to make it very hard for the Aviators in every game moving forward as well. But now, Brian, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you. And we'll see you at the Battlehawks game on Tuesday night for the Battlehawks at the Dallas Renegades. Should be a good one. Should be the game of the week. So we'll be looking forward to that one. First time I'll get to do the live play-by-play of the Battlehawks as well. But thank you very much, Brian, for your support as always. Have a nice weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday. You just feel that this game could really get out of hand if the Aviators don't score a touchdown on this next drive. You know, the defenders could end up putting 50 on them. It'll be interesting to see how long the Aviators leave McClendon in the game? Do they give their backup a bit of game time? We've still got just over 7.5 minutes left in this third quarter, and the defenders have opened up a 17-point lead now. Got 3 touchdowns, 101 rushing yards. Still time for Deion Jackson to add more. The kick is up. And it bounces at the 7-yard line and then bounces into the end zone.
A UFL already record. We got one more tight end. Hey, let's see what I got. My boys up front, they're taking
So from their own 20-yard line for the Columbus Aviators. Snap back to McClendon. Fired. It's caught. Oh, the ball's out on a fumble, and I think the defenders have got it. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. Fired in from McClendon. Caught by Wells and gets hit in the back. The ball comes out. It is a fumble. And now the DC defenders have got the ball in excellent start field position. Already in the Aviators' territory. Six combined turnovers in this game. So they've got the ball on the 27-yard line. It's trips right formation out the shotgun for Tamu. Snap back to Tamu. It's a QB keeper up the left side. He slides down after a 1-yard gain. So 2nd and 9 coming up for the defenders. Shotgun formation for Tamu. It's a handoff on the jet sweep for a 3-yard carry up the left side. Sounds like another run play, to be honest, from the play they've just called in. To shotgun formation from the 21-yard line on 3rd and 5. It's a play action pass. It's caught. They've got blockers out in front. And it's another touchdown for the DC defenders. Briley Moore, the tight end. He had a wall of blockers out in front of him. And this goes from bad to worse for the Aviators.
Touchdown!
This game was close once. I remember that time that it was close. Honestly, he caught the ball and the offensive linemen have got nobody to block. Aviators had a strong start for us. I believe it's over. Yeah, I mean, going back to... So look, the extra point is good. So we've got 38-14. Going back to at one point in this game, it was 10-7. And the Columbus Aviators were lined up for a 51-yard field goal to tie the game at 10-10. They missed it. And then from that point on, even though they've had a few chances along the way, the defenders have consistently got into the end zone and now lead 38-14. And as I say, at this point, it could very, very well end up the defenders scoring 50 plus the way this is going.
Nobody's purpose in life is to be a cancer patient. Many of those patients want to continue to maintain that sense of normalcy and empowerment. It's something that every individual has. Getting up and unifying chance and all that.
We can make work a better place for you.
So what do you do now if you're the Aviators? I don't know what you call. Do you give your backup quarterback a bit of game time in the remaining time? Do you throw the ball? Do you try and run the ball? I said the problem is even if they do score, is that the defenders are running the ball so well on offense. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. But 24 points down. It's a 3-score game. So McCrane lineup to kick it back to the Aviators. And it doesn't reach the landing zone, which means they're going to come up to the 40-yard line. Throw the ball and move fast. Pray the defense gets a stop. Yeah, pray. I think that's what they're going to need to do, Johnny, to be fair. They're going to need to pray on defense. Divine intervention. The handoff up the middle. Oh, nice spin move. Tackle down after a 12-yard carry. It takes the ball into DC territory as well. They've had chances, though. The luck has been on their side at times for the Aviators. Right, they're up at the line quickly. To carry again on the ground. It's an 8-yard carry. It's going to make it a 2nd and 2. They're up to the 40-yard line. So they are moving quickly. They're going no huddle. Toss play right. Got blockers out in front. And tackle down, but it is a 1st and 10 for the Aviators. Got something going quickly. I like this up-tempo style. They do huddle on this occasion. So now back to McClendon. It's going to be a pass play. Fire towards the left. And it's battered away by a corner. Breaks up the pass. It's nice. It's nice, but I think McClendon telegraphed it. I think he was looking that way the entire time. So 2nd and 10 from the just outside the 30-yard line. Snap back to McClendon, looking to pass, scrambling around, tries to dump it off to the running back. Ball's incomplete, and now got a 3rd and 10. So 3rd and 10. Snap back to McClendon. Thrown, it's caught. 1st down. And pushed out of bounds after a 13-yard completion. The Aviators are not done just yet. So just under 3.5 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. The Aviators are on the 18-yard line of the defenders. Snap back to McClendon. Looking to pass. Dumps it off to the running back. For a 5-yard completion. Takes the ball inside the 15-yard line now. So if the Aviators get into the end zone, they've got to go for at least a 2-point conversion, if not a 3-point conversion. Snap back to McClendon. It's a handoff. And a 3-yard carry. It's going to be a 3rd and 2 coming up, a long 3rd and 2. Snap back to McClendon. Fired over the middle. It's too high, too powerful for his intended target. Incomplete. Sets for 4th and 2, and the Aviators got to go for it. So 4th and 2 from the just 10.5-yard line. We've got to delay a game. We'll get the Aviators get the timeout in there just before the delay of game. So they've had to burn one of the 3 crucial timeouts. We've got just over 1.5 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. So big 4th and 2 from just outside the 10-yard line. It's I-Pro formation. Play action pass. McClendon under pressure throws. Oh, nice play. Got hit. The receiver got hit, Chisholm, just before the line to gain, but he sort of spun back and just got the first down. With 1st and goal for the Aviators. To White, he did. He took a big shot for it. They're looking to see whether it's a big hit there, and then another one. It's definitely a 1st down. Come on, Aviators. Get into the end zone. Get into the end zone. Let's make a game of it. So 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Empty backfield now for McClendon. Snap back to him. Sets off running on that QB draw again. And stopped at the 3-yard line. We saw that earlier on the touchdown run for McClendon. And gained 5 yards on that one. So 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Probably will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Single back formation. Play action pass coming. And I think it's caught in the end zone for the touchdown. And that's going to make it a 38-20 scoreline.
Touchdown!
Nice play. Yeah. Beautiful catch. Yeah, did well to maintain possession all the way through that. Went up and got it. Great catch. And so how many of the Aviators going to go for you? They're going for a 2-point conversion. Try and make it a 16-point gain. So from the 2-yard line, we've got McClendon in the shotgun. Snap back to McClendon. Lofted towards the corner of the end zone. It's incomplete. So even though we've got an 18-point game, it is technically still a 2-score game. But it becomes very difficult because the Aviators would need 2 touchdowns and 2 3-point conversions. So that's 2 conversions from the 8-yard line to tie this up. Plus, most problematic out of all of it is stopping the defenders on offense, which they haven't been able to do consistently. But for now, something for the Columbus Aviators fans to cheer about. And that is going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter as well. It's going to take a monumental effort and maybe a little bit of a miracle for the Aviators to come back and win this one now.
And because we always try to do the food line, no one ever leaves hungry. Even that is a signature touch.
I thought it was interesting what it said that the betting odds were on who was going to win the UFL this season. So the favourites they're saying are the Birmingham Stallions and the Dallas Renegades at the minute, followed by the DC Defenders and then the St. Louis Battlehawks are the top four. Before the season, I said that my top four teams, personally, before the season started, I went with the Defenders, Storm, Stallions and Battlehawks. They were the four that I thought that would make it through to the playoffs. So let me know who you think will make which four teams will finish in the top four. Obviously, there are no two conferences in the UFL this season, so it's just the top four teams in the league that will go through to the playoffs, where first will play fourth and second will play third. And the winners of those games will play, obviously, in the championship game in mid-June. But before the season, I thought it'd be Defenders, Battlehawks, Stallions, and Orlando Storm were my picks. We'll see how it plays out, though. The Renegades got off to a good start last week. Although we'll see how the Renegades obviously go on against Battlehawks. They were playing against the Gamblers. So we'll see how the Gamblers go on against the Stallions this week as well. And whether that win for the Renegades was slightly inflated by whether the Gamblers are not very good. We'll see. So we've got the Aviators lined up to kick it back to DC at the start of this fourth quarter. And it bounces at the 5 and scooped up. Returnable. Makes a move. Nice spin move and eventually stopped at the 31-yard line. So, can the Aviators get a stop on defense? They haven't been able to do it very consistently so far. But in order to make a real go of this game in the fourth quarter, they need a stop on this drive. They're still down 18 points. Snap back to Tamu. Handoff straight up the middle. And just like that, an 8-yard carry straight up the gut. And I just think that's what DC are going to continue to do, is run the ball. At this point, they would need help from the football gods or something. Yes, some divine intervention in order to win this game now. It's because, as you said, they can't stop. They had a great first half. They unfortunately just gave in. Just can't get the stop on defense. It's a handoff up the middle. Looks like he's got the 2 yards needed for the first down. DC will want to just get this fourth quarter over and done with as quick as possible. Run the ball as much as possible. Take the clock right down. End it with points if possible. Snap back to Tamu. Handoff up the middle. Just a 2-yard carry on this occasion. Takes the ball up to the 43-yard line of the defenders. So 2nd and 8 coming up with 13 minutes left in this game. Defenders up by 18. Tamu's only thrown the ball 9 times in this game. So back to Tamu. It's going to be a pass this time, though. Thrown towards the right. It's incomplete, but we do have a flag. And it's a holding against defense, 5-yard penalty, an automatic first down. Not what you need if you're the Aviators. So shotgun formation for Tamu. The ball placed on the 49-yard line of the defenders. Motion receiver from right to left. It's a handoff to the running back, though, up the middle. It's a 3-yard carry. It's going to set up a 2nd and 7. And the ball is now in Aviator territory, meaning no punts allowed. So shotgun formation, trips right, snap back to Tamu. It's going to be a pass play. Under pressure, throws, and caught for a first down. Tamu was under pressure, getting pulled down and let go of the ball through it. Powell did well to go up and get it and hold on to the ball as well. It is a 1st and 10 for the defenders. Handoff on the jet sweep. It's a first down at the 30, at the 20, and takes the ball inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the defenders. They just cannot stop the run. So 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Handoff again, bounces to the right. But it's tackle for a loss this time. It's a 1-yard loss. Where has that been from the Aviators' run defense? Look at that. 73 rushing yards in the tie game last week. 226 rushing yards in tonight's game. And there's still 10 minutes left of it. The 2nd and goal. So 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. It's a lofted pass towards the end zone. It's caught. And the receiver is saying he got 1 foot in. The referees are saying it's incomplete. We'll have another look at it. Let's have another look. Looked like a nice touch pass from Tamu. Got one toe in, not an entire foot, so it's not going to count. 3rd and goal. Oh, the ball comes out. It's bobbling around. And somehow Tamu comes out with it. So Tamu fake hands it off on the jet sweep. It bounces into the ground, back up high, and somehow, as Tamu runs past the ball follows him and lands into his lap. And we're going to get a field goal attempt from McCrane to make this a 21-point game back to a 3-score game. 25-yard attempt from the right hash. And it is good. It's 41-20. There's been plenty of mistakes in this game from both teams. And we've had 6 turnovers, but it could have been even more if the bouncers would have gone differently. But with the amount of time we've got left in this game, it's a touchdown or nothing for the Aviators now. It's 4 down territory all the way down on this drive, even if it's inside their own half. They've got to go for it. The 3 scores down. You know, their win percentage chance must be at 1% now. So important. They put a drive together, give themselves a little bit of hope as this game comes towards an end. So our game in the UFL tomorrow, we've got the Louisville Kings at Orlando Storm. The Kings came up just short against the Birmingham Stallions in the opening game of the UFL last week. It was a real close one, and they had their chances. They had their opportunities to win that game. And just some costly mistakes, a fumble at the 1-yard line, the costly interception from Jason Bean at the end when they only needed a field goal to win. Against the Orlando Storm, a new team as well in the UFL, coached by former Battlehawks coach Anthony Becht. The kickoff is up, returnable from the 8-yard line, tackled down at the 26-yard line. And we've got just over 8 minutes left in this game. And what have you got, Aviators? Shotgun formation. Snap back to McClendon. It's a handoff straight up the middle. Speed burst from White, and it's a 10-yard carry. Take the ball up to the 35-yard line. Snap back to McClendon, looking to pass. Fired out on the wide receiver screen. Makes a move at the 40. And pushed out of bounds around the 43-yard line. So it's another first down for Columbus. They seem to have done much better in the second half when they have gone up tempo. No huddle. 7.5 minutes left in this game. Still down 21 points. It's 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line now. Snap back to McClendon. Fired over the middle. It's tipped along the way and falls incomplete. All set up a 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10 for the 47. Snap back to McClendon. Fired, caught, and tackled down after 6-yard completion. Takes the ball just into DC territory. And a 3rd and 4 coming up with 6.5 minutes left in this game. Snap back to McClendon. Pressure coming. Lofted pass. And the receiver went up. Couldn't pull it in. Probably should have caught it, to be honest. It's going to set up a 4th and 4 now. And they're not going to be snapping it until it's under 6 minutes. Nice pass. And Chisholm really should have done better with that one. Hit him clean in the hands. So 4th and 4. Shotgun formation from the defender's 47-yard line. Snap back to McClendon. Looking to set off running. He goes. It's a first down at the 40. Slides down at the 35. First down for the Aviators. But they need to hurry things up. There's 5.5 minutes left. So from the defender's 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Snap back to McClendon. Pump fakes. Dumps it off to White. Makes a move. And pushed out of bounds after a 6-yard gain. So 2nd and 4 coming up now. From the 29-yard line of the defenders. Trips right formation out the shotgun from McClendon. Snap back to him. Steps forward. Throws over the middle. It's wide open receiver at the 10. And tackled down at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Aviators with just over 4 minutes left. So 1st and goal. I've got a stoppage here for some reason. Not sure why I've got a stoppage, but we've got a stoppage with the Aviators just 3 yards away from making this 41-26. A still 15-point game at that point. You know, probably kick an extra point to make it Yeah, because 14, 15, 12. Yeah, it's still going to be a 2-score game no matter what, so Mouse could kick the extra point. At least we've had lots of points. This is the highest scoring game we've had so far in the UFL. Just would have liked it to be a bit closer than it is. And I think the one of the main takeaways from this game is that the DC Defenders' run game is legit, and the Columbus Aviators' run defense has got work to do. You know, other teams will have seen this game and will be thinking about how they can do what the DC Defenders have done and run the ball well against the Aviators. It's always tough if you can't stop the run. It's tough to keep a game close. So here we go. First and goal. From the 3-yard line. It's an empty backfield. Will this be a QB draw? So now back to McClendon. It's a pass. It's incomplete. Looked like it hit the hands of the receiver, but then came out. Appreciate Johnny. Thank you very much for coming along. The next one will be Tuesday night, Battlehawks. So hopefully we'll see you there for that one. And a much closer game, even though I hope the Battlehawks win that one. But appreciate you coming along. Coverage of the UFL is better than some Americans I've watched. Cheers, mate, from American. I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming and joining us. McClendon throws back across his body. It's a touchdown. But there is a flag. There is a flag first. It was offside against defense. So it's a touchdown pass from McClendon to Martin.
Touchdown!
Are the Aviators still in it? Are they still in it? It's 41-26. So you're telling me there's still a chance. They're going for a 3-point attempt. They're going for a 3-point attempt from the 8-yard line. Will they be the first team to get a 3-point successfully? Snap back to McClendon. Under pressure. And the ball's out. Fumble. It's all over the place. It's scooped up by the defenders. And that will be unsuccessful. It will stay at 41-26. Well, why not? Why not go for 3? I suppose if you get the 3 there, it makes it a 12-point game, meaning that you need a touchdown, a 3-point conversion, and then just a field goal. Just a field goal to tie it up. With the amount of time left, it's unlikely, unless the defenders make another mistake. I mean, the Aviators have been handed the ball several times from mistakes along the way. So as we look forward to the rest of week 2. We've obviously got the Kings at the Orlando Storm tomorrow. On Sunday, the Birmingham Stallions, the 1-0 Birmingham Stallions against the 0-1 Houston Gamblers. And then what I would say is the main event on Tuesday night. A strange day to have football, but there you go. On Tuesday night, we've got the St. Louis Battlehawks traveling to take on the Dallas Renegades. Should be a good one, that one. Looking forward to seeing what the Battlehawks defense can do against a solid offense in the Dallas Renegades. Was that game from Austin Reed a one-game wonder? It's 376 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Was that one-game wonder? Or is there more to come from him? We will find out on Tuesday. So, 4th and 12, scrimmage play from their own 28-yard line. No onside kick, so can they retain possession? They're going for a 4th and 12 from their own 28-yard line. Snap back to McClendon. Pressure's coming, and he gets hit hard, sandwiched on the sack, gets hit from both sides simultaneously. And it means that the DC defenders are going to have the ball inside the 20-yard line of the Aviators. So 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line for DC. It's a handoff up the right side. It's a 2-yard run. Having a look at McClendon, he got hit high-low on that sack. The 2nd and 8 from the 17-yard line. It's a handoff up the left side this time, but it's stuffed in the backfield. I was going to set up a 3rd and 10. This might take us down to the 2-minute warning, in fact. So they are going to take a timeout with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Has been really good in coverage. They've got DeAndre Baker back there. He's an all UFL performer from a year ago. You know, tonight they only got go ahead. You have to kind of remind me of Joe and the Birmingham Stallions championship defense. Yeah. They're 4 can rush. They're 4 can really rush and beat 5. And then there's so much second and third level.
So 3rd and 10 coming up from the 18-yard line. It's a handoff up the left side. Bounces out and tackled down at the 15-yard line. We've also got a flag on the plate. We'll see what this one's on. It's a 10-yard penalty for holding against the offense. Like I said, for 3rd and 20 now. Look at that, total yards, 317 and 285. So hardly anything in total yards. It's just mistakes. They've declined the penalty now. So it'll mean a 4th down. So I think we're going to get a DC Defenders field goal attempt from McCrane from the left hash. But we get down to the 2-minute warning. So just 2 minutes left in this game. The defenders up 41-26. Going to be attempting a field goal when we come back. A short field goal that McCrane should make. That would make it a 44-26 game. I mean, it's still an 18-point difference and still a 2-score game at that point. But in under 2 minutes, very, very difficult. You've got to get down the field, score the touchdown, 3-point conversion, then convert to 4th and 12 from your own 28, go down the field, score a touchdown, then score a 3-point conversion. And that is just to tie it. So that wouldn't even win you the game. That's just going to tie it. So unlikely, but we'll see what happens. Whether the Aviators are able to get back into the end zone at least one more time before the end of this game.
Learn about adopting a team at adoptyourkid.org.
So here comes the field goal attempt from the left hash for McCrane. And the kick is up. It is good. It's 44-26 to the defenders.
taking the down. You didn't want to give him an extra down. And by rule, the coach can change his mind until the ready for play for the next down is granted. So, but again, thanks for showing it to me.
So here comes the kickoff from McCrane. Kick is up. And returnable from the 7-yard line. Bounce to the 30, spins and tackle down right around the 35-yard line. Just under a minute and 50 seconds left. The Aviators are down by 18 points. And we've got a different quarterback in for the Aviators to finish this game. Empty backfield for him. And we've got flags flying. Jalen Morton in at quarterback for the Aviators now. 1st and 15 from their own 30-yard line. Empty backfield. So now back to Morton. QB draw, sets off running himself, but gets tackled down for a 2 or 3 yard loss. Now facing a 2nd and 18 with 1.5 minutes left. So now back to Morton. Under pressure, scrambling around, stays on his feet, scrambles to his left, throws deep downfield, intercepted at the 38. And the defender slid down just inside Aviators territory. And that should seal it. Under pressure, scrambled out to his left and just seemed to throw it as far as he possibly could. And it just didn't get anywhere near to where he hoped to have thrown it. So just 2 knees away for the defenders. And there's the first one. And there is the second knee, the game-winning formation. So that's going to take us to full time. The defenders win this one 44-26 over the Aviators. So thank you very much for everyone that has joined us today. Special shout out to Brian and Johnny. Thank you very much for joining us. And just remind you, we are going to be live streaming the Battlehawks at the Dallas Renegades on Tuesday night. So make sure you come and join us for that one. That's an 8 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. 1 a.m. if you're watching from over in the UK like us. So make sure you come and join us. Should be a really good one, that one. Game of the week. And of course, we will be releasing our next UFL video on Wednesday next week, which will be a recap of week 2, highlights, takeaways, looking at the standings, and then looking ahead to week 3 and making our predictions. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the NFL UK Ops community. Appreciate you coming for this one. And we'll see you on Tuesday night.